Growing up, I
Yeah.
once scared me most of my mom. Nigerian, they go pull your boxers,
Mm-hmm.
your bare bum, and they give you two, just two. Your brain go reset. Do you see the way people raise their kids here? You want to do the westernized way. You are grounded. Wait to be grounded. You want to compare grounded to better kids when you're a lot of Nigerian kids actually stayed back home and came here later. They always tend to do better than kids that were raised here. The Nigerian system of raising kids is far better. A lot of Nigerian parents are hypocrites.
Most of the parents they always took first position, and we never saw who took last.
They never even saw who took second.
I,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Diaspora Chatter, the number one podcast in the world. Here we talk about life in diaspora. I'm joined by my two co-hosts here, Mosi and Otis. What's going on, guys?
mean, a lot's going on.
A lot going
The
on.
heavy rain, pour, and the snow. So glad to be
Snow.
back to take my time away from the snow. Although it doesn't snow where I live, but good to be back. And those in the
I,
snow, hope
Yeah,
you guys are
Mosi,
safe.
I see you've recovered. You sent us a picture of you
I,
shoveling snow.
trust me, I've not recovered. My right shoulder is still going, man. I think it was a good workout though. I mean, I had to continue today, so the snow was like all over the place, man. I mean, school cancelled, work,
Mm,
everything. I mean, I think the only positive is that I get to work from home a little bit, so I think
mm-hmm.
there's a little
Lucky
positive.
you.
Yeah,
It's still
Lucky
not
you.
fun at all, man. Over 10 inches of snow is. I think
yeah.
snow is only beautiful in pictures. So in pictures,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, snow is beautiful, but when you start digging, man, shit.
I had
But
somewhere
happy to
in
be
Yeah,
back.
Europe was
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
When you run out of water, you can boil the snow so you can get some water,
Yes.
take a shower.
You can.
Yes.
I'm not aware
I
of.
don't. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not aware either. But I,
Now you
But I
know.
mean,
Now
it
you
only
know.
makes sense. It's water, though.
I,
So,
yeah. Okay.
well,
All right. Well, for those of you who are just watching us, this is what we do here. We come. We talk about life here in diaspora. We talk about issues that affect us. Today, we're going to talk about discipline. We're going to compare some of the techniques and experiences experiencing discipline here in the United States versus Nigeria. So first off, I'm just gonna ask you guys. When you hear discipline, what's the first memory that comes to your head? Is it funny? Do you have any traumatic memories? Like, you know, mostly,
I
why don't you
know.
go first?
Okay.
okay.
When you
I
hear
mean,
when,
yeah, the first thing I think of discipline is to package yourself well. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Like follow the rules, do the right thing, kind of. I mean, that's the first thing that comes into my head. Maybe because I mean, I my training is from Niger. I know in
mm-hmm,
Niger it's kind of different from here, where your parents speak to you nicely. If you
mm-hmm.
are as a kid, though, they speak to you nicely. Well in Niger they speak to you with different things. If you chop conk, if you chop cane, so there's a difference. So because of a Niger upbringing, I hear discipline is more like comport yourself kind of thing, like behave yourself. That's what comes to my head.
Yeah. Otis, how about you?
So just a short, we hear discipline from the Nigerian and Africa bringing is like punishment that our we hear, oh, like once you mention your parents say, I'm going to discipline you. But there's another meaning to discipline, adherence to rules, kind of similar to us, this rules, regulation, just competing yourself to be ethical among society. So that's just
Mhm.
the long and short of what the two meaning of discipline depending on how it's used.
Yeah. For me, when I hear that, because when you brought this up, the first thing that came to my head was school, teachers flogging, like teachers flogging, flogging me. Like, man, like it's just one of those things whereby like, and I think that's one aspect whereby like discipline is like from different people, right? Your parents, school, like people who discipline you different, it's kind of a different kind of way. But definitely the physical aspect of discipline, the flogging, that's what comes to my that,
I
that's
mean,
what comes to my
yeah,
mind.
I think you guys are just naughty kids. Nobody used to flog when I was small. But I remember
Oh,
trash with this. So forget all this. I don't know why I just started speaking English
You
today.
were not
I remember they used to trash
technically
with stuff
speaking, you
like
were
that.
not
Like
exorbitant.
discipline.
You weren't
For me, I was
exorbitant
like
as a kid.
I was by the book. Do the
by the
right
book.
thing. Very disciplined.
Yeah.
Unlike Oti.
You were never mischievous, right?
Exactly. You see,
So, what scared you guys growing up? Right? What scared you guys most as far as discipline? Is it your parents, your teachers, the police, your pastor? Like, what was like? What scared you more growing up?
is that me or
Who do you want to go first? I don't want to be
Most of you go
controversial.
first.
oh, I should go
Okay.
first. Oh, I mean, growing up,
Yeah.
I think what scared me most was my mom. Right? I think my
Mm,
mom. I mean, my mom was a teacher. I mean, you guys know her, so of course
yeah.
she was a teacher in school, and then at home sometimes she was a mom, but then she was still a teacher. So that I think most of the African Nigerian discipline, which is like trashing, that goes
Mm, yeah.
from my mom, if I say mom, but Nigerians understand mom,
Yeah.
So from my mom, yeah. But just away from that a little bit, in school, like primary or what they call elementary here, or middle school, what they call secondary school back home in Nigeria, there were specific teachers that had a reputation for being, in our words those days, wicked. But
Wicked. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but thinking about it now, it's more about maybe they were just disciplined, although some of them were a little extra, but we don't know.
No, they were wicked, man. They were
Eh,
still wicked, man.
that's not what the topic. I don't want to go there. My mom was a teacher, so I'm,
Yeah.
I'm writing for the teachers right now. But by reputation, I mean there were some teachers that you just knew that they had probably had a short fuse, and then you could get into trouble for what another teacher would
Mhm.
probably correct you for. These other ones, when they're bringing out their king. In fact, some of them, they get different name of king that time. But again, the topic for today, so let's stay on point. I pass the mic to Otis.
Yeah, for me, I don't think I was scared of anything. I was just like waiting for it to get to my turn to be nefarious. So I was just being patient because I know one day. But one thing that maybe a little bit shook me, it was just like hazing and boarding school because I grew up in boarding school a little bit. So those were kind of annoying to me that high school, I think I saw something somewhere, high school kids are given privilege to discipline other
the younger
genius
ones.
genius in the
Yeah.
school. So they were given um cane, or what do they call that, a stick. So they use
Hmm.
it maliciously, and it was not really funny because they have no discipline, so they just enact whatever they do, what they were told, and just abuse it. So that
Hmm.
one was kind of the border. I knew how to try to defend myself. That was the only thing. If not, I
Hmm.
was not really scared of any of those things.
Yeah. That was a strange one. I think back then, right? You were disciplined by the older kids, but then you were looking forward to becoming a senior or whatever.
So,
That way, you could get to replicate it to
well,
you
I
know.
think I think I think I think in what we're doing right now, again, I'm just calling it out. Like it's almost as if we're equating discipline to punishment and flogging. Is that where we are? Is that where we
It,
have agreed that
it,
discipline
It, it,
it's
exists?
it,
both ways. The meaning of discipline
it,
depends on who listens and what comes to the
no,
person's mind.
no,
But
but
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
sure you're
say
dwelling on principles. Go ahead. Sorry.
no. So I will say though, because for me, so I was thinking about this question, like, what's scared? As far as discipline goes, I never got whooped by my parents growing up. Like when I think, I don't have any memories. Maybe I don't have any memories of like getting whooped, but I respected like the thought of like me disappointing them or screwing up. That was just like in my head. Like it was more of a psychological discipline. That because yeah, I don't remember like being flogged or like those kind of physical punishment kind of discipline. It was more like a like behave yourself, like the threat of something happening to you but nothing happening to you. So I don't know. So
oh no, me, yeah, for me, I got whooped by my mom. My mom is a teacher, so I mean, that kind of. My
she
dad never
practices
did.
the whooping on you.
Oh, man, no, no. So the funny thing is that thinking of mom, see, like my mom, I call her mom. See, forgive me, guys. I mean,
Yeah,
you can put what you call your mom in the comment section. Me, I call my own mom. See,
yeah,
so yeah. So for me, my mom really. I, I mean, on the top of my head, if I take my time, I'm sure I can count the amount of times I got whooped. But I think I was more scared of her scolding, like the verbal trashing, like that just like you said, the fear of disappointing her and my was like bigger than whatever. So it wasn't more about she's going to flog me for doing something wrong. It's even the talk that we follow the doing something wrong that I
yeah.
couldn't.
Exactly,
So I think
exactly.
till today, man, it's still a lot going inside my head. Like, man, I don't want your talk. I beg, I'll just do the thing. I don't want wahala, you know. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. So it's discipline is kind of different, right? In Nigeria versus here in the United States. How people discipline their kids here. It's kind of different. Like even like in if we're talking about like schools, like how the teachers discipline their kids. Like what like if you were to the what's the widest punishment growing up in Nigeria? What's like a really crazy punishment you saw, like a teacher give a student that will not fly here in the United States? Like would that would
You,
get them
you,
fired or imprisoned?
you, you want us to enumerate? We will not get out of
Don't
this podcast
yeah,
before the end.
don't give the name of the teacher. You can just be
No, he
vague.
said the one.
No,
He said the craziest. So don't give all the one
Yeah, yeah,
craziest.
one, yeah.
there are plenty on my list. Some of them they will tell you to take off your shoes and they use a cane to flog the bottom of your foot. Then probably another one to give you grass. We use the lawnmower here, right? You mow your lawn, so with a machete or machete, like they call it in Nigeria. I heard it's
Mm-hmm.
machete, the
Ojigbe,
machete
Or cutlass.
Ojigbe.
or
If
cutlass,
you're
LG.
from worry,
Okay,
Ojigbe. Yes.
they give you a portion. And rookie,
That thing was cruel, man. Like
it
the school
was.
they didn't bother hiring people to mow the lawns. All they did, they just used the students as punishment. Here you
I mean,
go.
no,
And
but
if you
apart from
come
that,
in late, if you come to school late, I wonder you're coming there to get education. But at the end of the day, you spend 4 hours of the time cutting grass, washing toilet. So all the when you ask which one was worse, all of them are just really
well,
nefarious, in my
I
opinion.
think, I mean, I'm not trying to defend the school, though. I mean,
Yeah.
before you guys come for me, but I think more of there was Labor Day, right? Labor Day was like one Friday of every month, something. So in itself, I understand it being like a punishment and saying, okay, you part of maybe we all went to the same secondary school or high school, you had like a constitution, right? So you had your the criminal code where if you did this, you punishment, if you did this, punishment, and that was so there was Labor Day where it wasn't like punishment, but I think to opt out of it, you had to be in a particular academic performance reader, or you need to have an excuse medically, and then that. But going back to I'm just saying that just for context. But going back to the wildest punishment, I mean, like the craziest.
Yeah.
Now, the
That will
craziest for
that
me,
will get you arrested here in the US.
bro,
All of them
that's
get
what I'm
you.
telling you. The way, see, as Otis said, there's a lot, but you said the craziest. The one that used to give me nightmares, eh? I won't lie, even till now, some days I can sleep and maybe I just dream, I'm back to secondary school. I'll just see that particular teacher. I'm not going to call names, but you see that washing toilet. That thing was just ridiculous. Like, you just, she would just come into school class that time. Maybe you guys are making noise
I
or
say
something. She just
she.
come,
Mhm.
I mean,
I
call
think
them.
I
I'm
know
not,
who you're referring to. Yeah.
I don't know. That's people's business. People should let me talk. I mean, I don't have power. But the teacher will come in, and you guys are just having a good time, maybe a good time in the wrong time or whatever. But she just come and say, "Everybody straight to the toilet. You are all going to wash toilet for 1 week." I'm like, man, 1 week? And you know how it is. The cleaners come clean the toilet for maybe early in the morning before school resumes, like around they don't even clean it well because of course at that time maybe I think there was a lot of
Is this high
maybe
school you're referring to?
high school, yes, and then they
Did
won't
we
clean.
have
They won't.
cleaners in that toilet? Did we? I never saw cleaners
You
in that
guys, so you
toilet.
guys, yeah, they were. But you guys were
Yeah,
in, maybe they
cleaners.
didn't have for hostel. You guys were in the boarding school section.
No, in the
Yes,
main
in the
school
high
there was
school.
none.
In the main school, there
In the
was.
main
Okay,
school, they were
okay,
cleaners.
I
They were
don't. I
cleaners.
forgot. I
okay.
forgot. You're
They
forgetting I was in
sometimes they tell
government.
them not to clean.
I was in school
They
government.
tell.
So I understand. Yeah. So
Okay.
no. So what usually happens is that they clean, but they don't clean too. Just like the cooks that you guys used to have in boarding school. They cook,
Mm-hmm.
but not with that passion. More like a commercial thing. So it's almost like the same thing. So when they take you to go
Mm.
clean, like maybe you will see. Again, I don't want to discuss our audience, but man, you see things that shit, man. No, that thing is the worst. Let's keep it moving. I don't do extra shit. That's crazy, man. Like washing toilet for 1 week for what? Because I make noise. I don't go talk. I don't understand. Man. Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah. The one that bothers me is the flogging with the pipes. They those some teachers they had
PVC
the
pipe.
pipe. Yeah, PVC pipe they used to flog, and
Shit.
they would. It bothered
There's
me
one.
'cause they would flog,
Mm-hmm.
and they would flog like girls on their behind with it, and I and I always wonder like like that's something like that would just would not fly here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like yeah,
Flogging,
like
but I'm sorry, man. Again, I'm not being chauvinistic. Oh. The fear
right.
of that, some people used to call their own spirits that time. I used to be white and
Yeah,
thin. And
yeah.
man, I was so scared of that thing also. And that's why I said there were a lot. I was so scared of that thing
Hmm.
myself that I never remember to even the pity for one girl in the trash with me. Because even me, self, to chop that cane, to chop that cane, they give me nightmare. So I don't be the sympathy. Maybe now thinking back, man, that was great. But man, it
Yeah.
cried for me too. Now. I don't understand. Well, that
Boy,
thing,
Yeah, sometimes they give you a choice. You want it on your palm, or your back, or your butt.
man, that's
I
boy,
think
awesome.
you
somewhere
know
else
one thing
too.
that happened. People outgrew the flogging with the cane. So for you to be a tough guy, you have to be there and take it and pretend as if it's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
So you should stretch it to your hands.
bro.
Probably
That,
most
that
of
was a
the
flex, actually. That was a flex
yeah, it
back in the day. I don't know if
was.
you guys remember to be able
Yeah,
to
they have to.
take 12 lashes without
Bro,
flinching. That was a flex.
Sometimes younger
see,
then, so you have the girls who will you'll be they'll come close to you, come after you like, oh sorry, because you took it like you don't want to be in front of everybody in assembly and cry when you're being whooped. So that kind of stuff is to attract the ladies too. You gotta act tough.
If
Meanwhile, your ass
any
is all
ladies,
bloody and red.
any ladies watching, if you were attracted to that, please leave a comment down
Those are the
below.
bad boys.
but
This
it's typical about this story. My name was about boy. You can hear. Me, the only one I
funny.
think,
I wasn't.
but the one I can remember I was doing, I think from like SS1, which is like what, 8th grade or 9th grade, yeah. From SS1 to SS3, the one I remember personally I was doing for no reason. Okay, no, maybe to like SS2 because I like became a prefect and then now, of course, I was a little exempt from all these things. But you see, I used to wear like double trouser and double shorts just in
We
preparation
parted.
of in case. Yeah, man.
Oh,
So you just
there's some
yeah, but me,
teachers when they do it, they will pull your pants.
Pull
That way,
your
make it tight.
pants, hold it
That way
and
it
flex it.
enters.
bro, I used to like go prepared. Oh, and the thing is that nobody ever, I don't can't even remember anybody really whooping me like that. But just that panic of me in case make I not go, as Oti said, you don't want to be seen as a weak guy. You're the cry when they trash.
Yeah.
So you have to go prepared every day. They wear two trousers and four boxers. Pants safe. We wear everything. God damn. Secondary school life was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you try to you know, I don't know if it's like that for the generation these days. I don't know if that's changed because what we're talking of is like 20 years ago. So I don't know how much that has changed over time,
No
with
idea.
social media and everything. I don't know.
I think a lot has
No idea.
changed.
No idea.
That's a lot
But
of
it's one of those like contrasting things right here. Like you try to imagine how people discipline their kids here, like here, how do teachers discipline their students in the
No,
United
no,
States?
no, not verbal. It's
timeout,
Yeah.
not verbal, right? Your kids they
timeouts,
misbehave, they call their parents, they
suspensions.
can write you up, timeouts.
Timeout.
It's more different.
Hmm.
I would argue that
Yeah.
It has to go
largely
through a
ineffective also, but
process.
that's a story for another
You're
day.
saying it's ineffective?
I think so.
So what do you think so how would you say, like, if you could turn back definitely our discipline structure is what that's what shaped us for for the most part. You are who you are right now because of the foundations and discipline that were put in place. Would you say that the structure you got from Nigeria is better versus if you were to grow up here in the United States? You know, like what do you guys think?
For
Do you think
me,
you'll be more disciplined individual, or it doesn't
for me,
matter,
there's
or do you
no.
think would you say it doesn't even matter?
For me, probably it's just taking the start for us. There are many people who were given those same discipline we were given, and they didn't do well, and they are most of them engaged in all sorts of running into problems with the law and things like that. So it has to do. It's a conglomerate of factors, not only the discipline. Just has to do with your will, what you want to become. Like again, growing up, we had certain professions they wanted us to be. So some people didn't want to do certain things. So over here, it teaches you discipline too. You got to wake up a certain time. You got to go walk. You got to have your goals, and it's you got to get precise. You know where you want to be in a certain time. So it's kind of a different dynamics a little bit. So you can't come here and be slacking.
Yeah, yeah.
Nigeria, you can slack a little bit, you've been late to work, kind of like oh traffic, no light. You give
Mm,
some excuses and you get away with here, but here there are no those such excuses. So you gotta be at work at 8, you gotta leave at 5, you gotta pick your kids from school, you gotta go to the store to get this. So it teaches you time management.
time
Sometimes in
management. Yeah.
Nigeria, on Monday you have to go to the mechanic, on Tuesday you go to the bank, on Wednesday you go to your tailor. There's ample time for you to do a lot. But here you can go to the bank, you can go to your seamstress, you can do a lot of stuff in one day. That's just my 2 cents.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Mostly, what do you think?
I mean, if I understand the question right, you're asking. Can you just rephrase the question? I just want to understand very
Yeah,
well.
like what do you think? Who you are as a disciplined individual today? Nigeria? Do you think Nigeria? How do I phrase it? Like, which place you feel has a better structure for raising that for raising people, raising
For
you
raising,
up? Like,
I
yeah,
think,
like do you think if you grew up in Nigeria versus here in the United States, do you think you would still be the same disciplined individual you are? I'm assuming you're
yeah,
disciplined.
I'm assuming I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so for me, right, I would say categorically that Nigeria has a better discipline structure for raising kids. But if you look at in terms of being an adult and then your work ethics or your response to time management, as it is said, as an adult, in general people here are more structured as adults than in Nigeria, and this is my reason, right? As kids, right, we we have a lot of excesses. We don't know better. I mean, you have to look up to your parents. A lot of Nigerian parents are hypocrites. They do not practice what they preach. You can come for me in the comment section and say like your papa be hypocrite and why be hypocrite, your business. But I'm just telling you categorically that a lot of Nigerian parents are hypocrites. A lot of and the same thing applies to every other thing for adults in Nigeria in terms of politics, religion. They are hypocrites. They don't practice what they preach. So you can look at your kid and say, you must be the best in school, you must do this, you must do this. But you, on the other hand, are not doing the same thing at work. Right? So you're at work and then you can go late because it's Nigeria or something that happened.
Mhm.
Do you understand? But for their kids, they discipline them properly. So that's why most of the time, again, we can pull up the stats in the comment section. I'm ready to argue with you from that next year.
Mhm.
Most kids that were raised in Nigeria and then move abroad tend to be able to find their feet faster than Nigerian kids that were raised here, right? Through the American system of raising kids, where instead of putting your foot down when the kid misbehaves, you are speaking to them nicely. You are being your kid goes to school and comes back with a B or a C, and so you say, "Oh, God, you fail." You say no, it doesn't matter. It's attempting that is okay. The result doesn't matter. We do not run like that in Nigeria. If you come back with a bad result for Nigeria, you know now, you don't have the the cane we're talking about, or even if it's not cane, the mouth they will give you. You know, say na
Mm-hmm.
wahala. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So is this that's what I'm saying here. You see the way people raise their kids here, you want to do the westernized way. It's easy for kids to be getting it wrong, but because of the system, you want to be nice and you are grounded. Wait to be grounded. You want to compare grounded to better kid marriage. You cannot compare those two things now. You want to compare being grounded to somebody giving you, even not using cane in hand, you pull your you know how African mamas they run now, Nigerian mamas, they go pull your boxers,
Mm-hmm.
your bare bum bum, and they give you two, just two. Your brain go reset. Oh yeah, they say, man, you are grounded. You're not going to watch TV for 2 weeks. Light no person in Nigeria to watch TV. So now can you venture? Do you understand? So all those things shape you. So first of all, you appreciate the little things of life more. Again, I'm not a nepo baby, so maybe I'm talking from a povo povo. Maybe we will not know. So maybe it's the structure of how I grew up. I'm talking from my own reality. I feel like kids in Nigeria have a better structure. So that when you are getting to the age where you're getting to university, if you're even moving abroad or you are even in Nigeria going through school, so you do that's worry that you don't want to disappoint. Just like you said earlier, you don't want to disappoint your parents. Not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
because not because of cane or physical beating or abuse. It's because
Yeah.
of you have grown up with that thing that you want to appreciate your parents, and that's why a lot of people too when they get to that adult stage, they now see that these are my parents that had one high standard. So you said they do this kind of thing when you did correct me that time. So again, it's not a bad thing. I like it. I
Right.
like the Nigerian system. As against here, where you are being nice to your kids, there's always you can go through your a phase of misbehaving or God misbehaving with and the results matter. If you see again, if you look at the results, I mean,
Yeah.
I can. A lot of Nigerian kids actually stayed back home and came here later. They always tend to do better than kids that were raised here. And I'm speaking from a
Yeah.
Nigerian point of view. And again, I stand to be corrected. And please come in the comment section for me if you want. I'm waiting.
And I'm gonna come up for you now, even. But
Uh,
before you go, I agree with you on something that most Nigerian parents, not all of them, are hypocrites. Did you guys hear when you were growing up that most of the parents they always took first position, and we never saw who took last? So that thing
why?
always bothered
They never even saw who
me.
took second.
I
Who they carry
they we
second?
never saw
They say
all
last.
of them were taking
All of them
first position and doing very well.
they were
They're
in the
like
class of one.
so.
They were always in the class of one. Nobody can come second. Only first.
No, but then again, that's true. I like that because I was always like, oh, I took first when I was in school. I did this, like you said, they're hypocrites, and but then
Mm-hmm.
again, it still help us. They're trying to not. We're not saying this in a bad way. They just want the best for you. And over here too, you were saying it's always different. They're honest here. They're gonna say, "Hey, John, I was wrong," or things like that.
I'm
I've spoken
sorry.
to people who turned out to be good. Like in Nigeria, the parents, if they are wrong, they are just ashamed to admit they're wrong. So how are they disciplined? They would turn around and turn around, turn around and turn around and turn around. One thing
They'll give
that
you
even
food.
bothers me
They'll
over
give you
here,
food. If they offend you, they'll say,
over
have you
here,
eaten? Go and eat and take extra meat.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You would know then, but then again, it's the same way of showing you love. Normal in America would take their kids to school, say, "Johnny, I love you." In Nigeria, when they drop you off, they're
The
like,
bar,
"John, don't take food from anybody. Come, you didn't even let me help you put on your uniform properly." We're not verbally speaking people, which I don't know if you call that discipline, but at the end of the day, it has its pros and its cons. I kind of like some of the things here. That transparency, hey John, I'm wrong. But over there, they feel like if they tell you they're wrong, you will not believe them, which I get it. So that's just
mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry. Okay, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say that there's a reason why, and I'm going to give you an analogy. Maybe I don't know that it matches. In America today, in our current environment, in national security issues, there are some things that are classified. They are classified because they feel like, I mean, government feels like if I release this information to the public, they might not be able to manage it well. They might not understand the context of this thing. It might cause more trouble than needed. So they classify it from the public and then they disclassify it as needed with the relevant authority. I feel like That's how African parents operate with their kids. Some information are classified for your children. Do you know why? Think about it as a teenager. If you knew that your father used to drink and miss class, and then he still turned out good, you don't know how he was able to turn his life around, how difficult it was, how he's looking at you and saying, if I tell my son that, oh, I used to skip class when I was in secondary school or in high school, I didn't even do uni, or I had to go around and start doing night classes because there were no online classes those days, or I
Mm,
had to go through this to get to this point. As a child, you're always seeing your father or your parents in this high place, like they're already
yeah.
successful. My dad is this, my mom is this. So you might not be able to manage that same pathway. And he doesn't want to tell you that because he doesn't want to say, oh, it's okay. At least my dad was smoking and drinking and going crazy and partying all the time. He still turned out good. So why can't I do it and turn out good? Right? So that's
Right.
why they classify that information from you. And I feel like that's the problem with the system here. Again, I'm not saying I'm criticizing it,
Mm.
yes. Why? Because if you do not classify that information, children should not be exposed to every. If it's like that, they should be able to vote at any age. There are reasons why there are restrictions on some particular things. You can't take alcohol at 20, you can't drive at a certain age. It's
Yeah.
that's the same way you should raise your kids. You cannot give them all the information. And you should be able to put your foot down and say, "Come, this is what is more important for you now." And then when you
Mm.
turn 18, you can then okay. Then as you grow older, you manage the information. I feel like it's a better way. That's why I feel like the Nigerian system of raising kids is far better.
Yeah.
It's 6.5
Yeah.
adults to me.
I mean,
Go ahead. Bro.
it's hard to tell for me because obviously because all three of us we grew up in Nigeria, and that's our only frame of reference. Um we don't have like a peer who grew up here who we could like compare. Like, you know what I mean? Um
We
so
have.
I we have
I mean, all of you guys, I know people that grew up here now, so I can compare. I can see the results.
I,
I was saying
okay,
I have. I know people here that grew up,
okay,
Niger children that grew up here.
okay.
That's they're a little more. They view life completely different from I do,
Completely
which is
different.
cool.
Yeah.
But we have points where we agree. But
Hmm.
I don't think. I mean, again, I'm talking from my. Forgive me, guys, wherever audience, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm talking from my point of view. So what I've seen from all the people that I know personally that grew up here, Nigerian African kids that grew up here 100%, I'm yet to meet one that says I wish or rather that says they do not like our system in terms of how it is right now, as in age for age range, everything. Most people really wish that they had more of our type of upbringing
Really?
here. So that's what I have
Okay.
seen. Again,
Okay.
that's my own experience. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but yeah, for me, yes, I feel like the Nigerian system like made me more disciplined. Even the education system, even like studying, right? Like
Mm.
the ability to study. I don't know if you guys remember, like when we take those, our exams are very tough.
Mhm.
You study like the whole system was just very like here, like the education system. I don't know the stats, but like if you look at some of top the top grades, the school, there are people who are foreign students, right? Or like,
Bro, I won't wish sugarcoat it. Like
yeah,
my kids' school, most of my friends
yeah,
here, most of the kids I know here, the schools.
yeah,
Most times I look at most competitions, most
yeah,
classes, right? Bro, I'm telling you for free. 10 top students, 9 names
yeah.
Nigerians, 8 names Nigerians. The rest maybe Jamaica or other African countries. Ghana too, doing very well. Cameroon.
Shout out to
Bro,
Ghana.
yeah, shout out Cameroon. I'm telling you, and this is a shared experience with other people that I know that even in schools
Yeah.
that have, I mean, majorly white, I mean, white kids in school, you still see those kids
Hmm.
because most of us, this upbringing now without bringing back to because like me,
Yeah.
I tell my kids all the time, when you're in the four walls of my house, you're in Nigeria. When you come out, you're in America, but it's inside there. Once you cross that door and close it, that's Nigeria. Yeah, everything there is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. When you come out, you're in the United States of America. So you comport yourself inside. When you go outside, we'll play by the rules.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not like
Yeah.
physical or anything. I'm just saying those standards.
Yeah.
You cannot come home and tell me that his
Hmm.
participation accounts. I lie you. His winning accounts. That's what I know. Don't come first time say I tried. Try waiting.
Yeah.
Who are you bringing beef for?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
No. Yeah. No, you do a good job. I see the pictures you post of your your kids doing well in school with their
Oh, I
awards
mean, you
and
have a
stuff.
choice.
So yeah.
We're not going to call
Yeah.
count break.
I mean,
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
I'll leave the banter for offline.
Yeah.
Because that's
I know you are being too nice today. If you had
no,
slowed where
yeah,
you
be
are, I understood,
nice.
but
I'm excited.
that's so nice today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
So
just letting it
so
go
yeah,
today.
so yeah, that's discipline in a nutshell. I'm sure there's some other aspects we didn't really touch on, but there's discipline as a child, discipline as an adult, the
Mhm.
system here, time discipline. So overall, closing thoughts. Do you guys feel like Nigerians here in America are more disciplined, or they're just more careful?
And I don't have a direct answer to your question. Depends on the personality. Is this one's not being on the fence because they say the best ones come here. I know going to school in Nigeria, there's some people who dropped out. So the best of the best are coming here doesn't reflect the total percentage of the ones that are doing poorly. So your personality, your person, your goals, aspirations, and what you want to become in life, the drive. I mean, most of and this not to discredit people here and the ones over there. So it just depends on your drive and then let's mention how you want to turn your life. But most of the time the ones who come in here are more focused, more driven, and then again it depends on the opportunity. Some people didn't have it, they tried, they denied visas and all those jazz. But
Hmm.
overall,
Hmm.
that's just it for me.
Yeah,
Mm,
I I agree with you.
yeah. So for me, mostly, you're asking if Nigerians in America are more disciplined or more careful.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
well, I would argue that they are more disciplined, and again, I'm looking at the way I understand your question is like are Nigerians in America. So there are two types of Nigerians in America. There are those that were born here that have Nigerian parents and grew up here all their lives, and then those that migrated here. So I don't know if you are boxing them together,
I'm
which
I'm
is
boxing them together.
you're
Yeah,
boxing them
but that's
together. So
what I
Nigerians
thought.
in America, I think in general are more disciplined because as I said, for someone like me that migrated here, my kids born here and everything, I still bring that discipline that came from home right here. And as I told you some minutes ago, my house is in Nigeria. Do you understand? So I enforce that discipline that I grew up with into them. I think a lot of Nigerian parents do. That's why you see Nigerians everywhere. Sports, NBA, NFL, everything were there, right? Because Nigerians hone in and we like to win. Again,
Hmm.
this is not Nigerian chatter, this is diaspora chatter. So we're not
Yeah.
this is why we're
Shout
blowing
out to
our
the other
trumpet.
people from
Shout out to
yeah.
other people. I mean, yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
doing great. But again,
Yeah.
as we always like to say, we can only talk from our perspective, like what we can see. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we are more disciplined, not really careful. Because
Do-
back home, there's nothing here that I mean in terms of with all due respect, police brutality, racism, we have a match for everything that is happening here back home. If it's for racism, we have tribalism back home that you have to deal with.
yeah.
If for
Yeah.
police brutality, they let work for your own day. So so we there's really nothing that you just have to. It's like a normal day for me here. Like I'm here, like oh
Hmm.
police, respect police. I know wahala, do my thing. Racism,
Right.
I mind my business. Stay your own, do your thing. But when it comes to discipline, that's the one that I have to consciously, man, no, I have to do this. I have to stand out. I have to win. I have to be successful. I have to push
Right.
myself, give 110%. So I think it's more discipline than
Mm,
being careful.
yeah. All right. Do you think some of that discipline will trickle down from your kids to their kids? So,
And of
do you
course,
think like you don't think like I know this is not part of what we plan to talk about, but like sometimes I think about that myself too, like how
mm.
much of that generational,
Oh,
from
yeah.
generation
So
to generation, does it start getting watered down?
it goes down. Yeah,
But
possibly.
yeah, it's yeah,
Possibly. But maybe if you ask my parents now, they might say that,
yeah,
I'm a little too
yeah,
lax,
yeah,
because
yeah,
things when
exactly,
we go do now, they go press come for head those days. I know
exactly.
press come, yeah, this is I'll have a conversation and maybe look for a
Ex-
different kind of punishment. But
Exactly.
then, so they might look at it like, "Ah, you're getting soft." For me, I'm looking at it, I'm a refined version of whatever they taught me. And then my kids
Exactly.
might, yeah. So it might just be refined, maybe not necessarily watered down. Depends on who's
Yeah.
looking. Yeah, so
Right.
that's,
As long
Adapting to
as,
the times. Yeah.
mhm,
for me, as far as they're gonna know that they are Nigerian and they're gonna see how they behave, because there's certain expectation of us. So it's, even though it, like Moses said, it's not being watered down, it's gonna be refined, and
mhm,
it's still gonna be
Hmm.
there, because there are
Hmm.
people who are gonna come, gonna tell you like, oh, this is how it's done. If you were this, if you were that, because before they were cruel, the flogging parents, flogging your kids because he took something, he drank, probably took a bottle of soda from the fridge and didn't tell anyone and drank it by
That
himself.
sounds like a
It was
specific
just,
example you're giving.
yeah, it was specific, but not to me. Yeah,
I
because
told when
even
I said
growing
it
up, the
there before that I
discipline.
was a naughty boy.
I
You have started
was
exposing
it.
yourself.
I
You started, you can't
just.
be collecting soda
Uh,
that nobody said to collect, and you're saying you're this thing. But they never flog you.
can talk
Did you, did you,
offline.
did you, did you, did you collect meat from? Did you collect meat from pot? Because this one you dey collect soda, you don't collect meat from pot. Talk true.
Let me think. I didn't do that.
You're
I've
just
not.
sleeping. You collect soda, you don't collect. Rookie,
Everyone
what's
has
up?
I
done
never
that.
told you. I
I
never
did not do
told you
that.
I collected soda and said. Anyway,
Nah,
it's
you.
not about me today. I'm
Yeah.
excited today, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right. Well, that's a diaspora chatter. I hope all of you watching, you're all disciplined in your respective lives, and please do us a favor and leave a comment down below. Let us know about your experiences. Share this with your friends and let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Take
All
care.
right, thanks.
Stay disciplined.
Stay disciplined. Exactly.